Michael and the Ice Cream Cone. Michael is sitting on a branch way up at the top of a tree. It's the middle of July and it's as hot as can be. There's nothing to do, all his friends are gone, and he's afraid the summer is going to be very, very long. The good news is someone opened a new ice cream store, and he wants his mom to take him there because he is so bored. And from way inside the house, his mother heard him scream, "Hey, Mom, I'm tired of waiting. I really want some ice cream." Michael was a little rude, and she did hear what he had to say, but she refused to answer, hoping he'd ask a nicer way. So down the tree Michael climbed and marched straight into his home in hopes that Mom would give him a great big ice cream cone. He was determined to get it by hook or by crook, but Mom gave him that "stop right there" kind of look. She said, "We don't have any ice cream, and even if we did, I wouldn't give any to a young man that yells like a little kid." "You'll have to use your own money and buy it yourself." So a frustrated Michael took his piggy bank off the shelf. He gave it a good long shake in hopes that he would hear the sound that meant his ice cream cone was near. But all he heard was, where did his money go? Then he remembered the popcorn in the movie show, and Mom telling him that he should not spend it all that way, and that maybe he should save some for a rainy day. Well, this wasn't a rainy day, but he understood what she meant. If you have all your fun one day, then all your money is spent. Mom asked about his money, but he didn't really want to talk. So with his head hanging down, Michael heads out for a walk. Maybe he could find a coin that someone had lost. He wasn't sure what that ice cream would cost. Perhaps 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, or four, 5 quarters, 6 quarters, 7 quarters, or more. He shuffled his feet as he walked rather slowly, and feeling quite sad, just hung his head lowly. And that's when he noticed a coin on the ground that he would have missed if his head wasn't down. He searched the sidewalk in a detective sort of way, and he found some things that really made his day. He found 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, four, 5 quarters, 6 quarters, 7 quarters, and more. He went a little further, and it happened again. Things like this just don't happen now and then. He was starting to feel lucky as he continued to look. He wanted to get ice cream, no matter what it took. He found a quarter again and again and again. He felt so happy, like his luck would never end. He had enough money now to buy his own ice cream. That's when he heard a cry, a wail, a sobbing scream. It was a little boy sitting on the edge of the street, who was all dressed up nice and neat. Michael didn't know him, so he must be new in town. The boy had been crying and had a very sad frown. "What's the matter?" asked Michael, trying not to be a bother. The boy replied, "I was about to buy a gift for my mother. I put my quarters in my pocket as I headed for the mall, but I found a hole in my pocket and I have lost them all." Michael could feel the weight of the coins as he sat, but the weight on his heart was even heavier than that. He really wanted to buy himself that ice cream cone, and he only had enough to buy one for him alone. A thousand thoughts raced through his mind. "I found those quarters, so they must be mine. I can't prove they belong to this little boy. Perhaps he saw me find them, and this is a clever ploy. But Michael trusted people, and he usually did what was right. Those thoughts almost won, but he bit his bottom lip tight. And then, with a deep sigh and a great big grin, he realized that this is where honesty begins. "You don't have to worry," said Michael. "I have found them." And with great surprise, the little boy looked up at him. "You found my quarters, and you're giving them back to me? Thank you so much. You're as nice as anyone could be." Michael felt a little funny because he'd rather have his ice cream cone. He felt sorry when he heard the story and saw him sitting all alone. He knew the boy was new to town and was sitting on the corner, but he reached into his pocket and handed him all 8 quarters. The boy's face more than lit up, and he couldn't believe his eyes. To have someone find and return them was quite a surprise. He thanked Michael and said, "Thank you. My name is Jim. My parents just bought a house here, and we just moved in." Michael introduced himself, and the 2 boys began to talk. They had a lot in common, and Michael was happy he took that walk. Jim and Michael talked and played until the day came to an end. Michael did not get his ice cream cone, but he did make a new friend. Jim said, "Why don't you come over and meet my pop? My parents opened a new business. We can stop by his shop." Michael said, "It's getting late. I should be getting home." "Okay," said Jim, "but it's an ice cream shop, and we'll get a free cone." This time Michael's eyes lit up. Could he have heard it wrong? He said, "I have been wanting an ice cream cone all day long." So Jim and Michael walked over to the ice cream shop, and Michael was very, very happy to meet his mom and pop. Michael finally got his ice cream cone that day, and he got something else along the way. He learned that honesty pays off in the end, and being kind to someone can make a friend. Eating ice cream is definitely very, very good, but if you have the chance to make a friend, you should. And if you ever have the chance, there's no better place to be than eating ice cream with a friend, especially when it's free.